Like I thought I was going to die when I was so obese. I was overweight, and I made it up one flight of stairs.
No.
Yeah. And I got to the top of the stairs, and I sat down, and I was Pastor T was right there in his office, and he's like, "Bro, are you okay?"
Hey, everyone. I'm Tim Prosser, host of this podcast, the Goodness of God podcast. Today, I am joined by my good friend, Carlos Quinoñez,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
my brother from another mother,
That's right. That's true, man.
sharpest dressed man in Abilene,
Oh,
Texas.
oh, get you some of that.
Always representing.
Always represent. You know what? I represent you guys. I represent you in the public. I represent you guys. Refuge Ranch. I mean, businesses. You know what I
several
mean?
boards, right?
Yeah. But you know what? I think you said a prayer right before we came on, and I was receiving that prayer, and it was about helping others, right? And so, helping others, repping people to help see them succeed. That's one of our passions, and it comes across as that, or we hope that it comes across as that, our passion to see people succeed.
So, helping people succeed is something you're currently doing. You've been doing it for a while. What does that look like?
Oh, man.
Like in 2022?
Yeah, in 2022, what is helping people succeed? Well, you were asking about the goodness of God, and what is that? What is that? And you hit the nail on the head. And it was the goodness of God is recognizing that He is good.
Mm-hmm.
You simply recognize that God was good. And so, how are we helping people succeed in 2022? Is the same premise, is the exact same premise. Helping people see what we see,
Mm-hmm.
right? Recognizing the goodness of God. And so when we help people succeed, we start normally with health, succeeding with health. But as we build a friendship with our community and we build a friendship with each other, we start to see that there's a need for other types of health. Spiritual health, mental health, emotional health. And it all comes through a health journey because people get to a point where they're like, I need to do something, like I thought I was going to die when I was so obese. I was overweight, and I made it up one flight of stairs.
No.
Yeah. And I got to the top of the stairs, and I sat down, and Pastor T was right there in his office, and he's like, "Bro, are you okay?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I'm sweating. The left side of my arm is like tingling. You get all the signs." And that was the day that I'm like, I need to do something. So my body composition age at that time was 60. I had the body composition of a 68-year-old man. I was only 38 at the time. But, they do this analysis or this wellness profile on you and kind of check your body fat and stuff like that. And so I had to recognize the goodness of God even then in that battle, in that struggle, because both my wife and I struggled with our weight.
You wouldn't know it.
And that's the goodness of God. And you know why? Because we were able to recognize it.
So how did that journey start?
It started with my wife first. She had enough, was enough first. And I was like, yeah, go ahead. You can go ahead and do it. And so, meaning she started to get healthy. So what she needed to do was to start taking walks. And so taking walks was part of her first steps of, health and wellness.
Mm-hmm.
So it was one step at a time.
For sure. So, yeah, looking at you and your wife now, I would have never guessed that you two ever had a problem with weight.
Yeah. And, that weight came off, and, I know this is the Goodness of God podcast, and I just want to point everything to God. You know what I mean? Because it's the goodness of God through all of those steps in our phases of what Amy and I were becoming.
Like, did God challenge you on your weight, or did circumstances line up to where it was like, hardly being able to climb a flight of stairs is kind of a wake-up call where it's like, I need to do something about this.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that was definitely the day. And
it was?
That was the day. Yeah, the day that I said enough is enough. I was an athlete for most of my life. So I started wrestling in 1979 as a 5-year-old wrestling. And I wrestled till 93. And so having that athletic build and possibility to be in that position, it was a reckoning. And it was like, whoa, who have I become? What have I become? Where am I going? And is my lifestyle congruent to where my goals and desires are?
Mm.
And they weren't. And so it was that kind of a wake up call. So, like I say, we get the Lord uses our ministry, Abilene Nutrition, to get people who want to take better care of their health, maybe lose a few pounds or whatever, and then we get to walk alongside of them and realize that they too have similarly, stuff that we carried, that was emotional weight, you know, I carried a lot of emotional weight of just trauma, the weight of trauma, like that happens physically, but there's a spiritual element in that that weighs a human soul down. And that weighed me down. And it was this narrative that I believed and repeated in my head over and over and over. And so it was my reality. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.